Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Today our class is a continuous of query language, structured query language. So in the last class we have studied some part of the SQL, and I explained to you some things, some parts which is related to the DDL and DML, if I'm not mistaken. So we learned how to create drop alter tables. So this is the commands that is used to create the objects of the database. So like creating table, creating column, creating relation, or maybe altering or modifying column or table or something like this, or maybe deleting a component using the drop command, and that component could be a table or relation or a column or whatever. Okay, so this is only to treat the structure of the database, the definition. That's why it's called data definition language. So it's all about defining tables, defining structure of tables, defining the relations between the tables, and so on. Then after that, we learned this DDL. We learned how to create the table name, how to create the tables, and how the table name looks like, and the field column names, and so on. Then field types, constraints like primary key, foreign key, check constraint, or not null, unique constraint. We already have learned this last class. I explained to you how the create command looks like, and how should we structure it. So it's supposed to start with the create table keywords, followed by the table name, and the table name should be in plural, as I mentioned always. Then we can open the bracket and we start listing our columns or fields. Then every field name is supposed to be followed by the type, and after that, if there is any constraint related to the column, until we finish our columns, then after that we come to the constraint that's related to the table. So like primary key or foreign key or whatever. Okay, as you can see here, constraint room underscore pk. Pk means primary key. Then after that we have to use the primary key keyword followed by the field. Okay, and also we learned how to create the foreign key. In the foreign key we have two tables involved in the relation, so we have to give a name for the constraint or for the foreign key using the underscore fk, like this. So table name, then followed by underscore fk, and after that we use the local relation field, which is here the office ID, and after using the references keyword, we have to mention the remote table, the other side of the relation. So the other side is the room table, then the column of the relation is the room ID. Okay, because the room ID that's coming from the rooms is used here as an office for the staff. Okay, we have taken some examples here, many examples, and also I showed you on the DBMS. Using the DBMS, we gone through all of these commands, like table with compound primary key, how to create the compound primary key like this. So in the same way, only the only thing that we need to do is to list our keys, our fields that's involved in the compound key. Here, the altering table command. So altering table to change its name, maybe, or maybe altering to insert a new column, or altering to modify an existing column. Okay, then after that we learned about removing a table, so we can use the drop table command, and also I teached you about the cascade command. So cascade, as I mentioned, is a very dangerous command, very dangerous option that we shouldn't use at all unless we know what we are doing. Then we learn about the indexes. and the syntax of how to create them, how to create the unique index with unique feature or index without unique feature, and also how to drop that index. And after that, we took some examples here with record numbers without index, and this is the index, how it looks like. And then if multiple indexes, how it will be. And after that, we learned about the pros and cons of the indexes. And as I mentioned last time, now indexes is all advantages, all advantages. So we have to utilize them. We have to utilize them whenever we need. So don't worry about their disadvantages or cons. Okay? So we stopped here last class. Then today, inshallah, we are going to continue. So for today, we are going to learn the DCL and the DML, inshallah. So for the DCL, we have only two commands. The first command is the grant, and the second command is revoke. Okay? Is my voice clear, guys?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay. So for today, we will start with the grant and revoke. These commands actually used to control database privileges. So it's all about the accessibility and the security. Okay. So here in this slide, grant privilege. How to grant privilege? Use the grant keywords and specify privileges. So the privilege could be all, could be select, could be insert, update, delete, index, alter. Whatever command we give, we want to give the privilege for a certain user we can select. So maybe one user, we can allow him to create and delete objects, or maybe alter them in the database, and the other user is only to insert data or to update data or to delete and so ever. Okay? So existing field names. So the first thing we use the grant keyword, then after that it's supposed to be followed by the privileges. Privileges could be one or more, or could be all. Okay. Then after that, it should be followed by existing field name, or existing table name, or existing component name. So this is very, not time actually. This is not the time to explain to you how it should look like, but later we are going to go through. Then after that, we have to give the username that we want to grant the privileges to. Okay. So for example here, if let's say we want to grant all privileges on the employee table to the user Selmi. So here the grant keyword, then here the privilege. Privilege could be all, and could be select only, or select, insert, delete, or select, insert, update, delete, index, alter. We can list all of the privileges, or instead we can use the keyword all. Then after that, we have to use the keyword on, and we provide the table name or the table column. Okay. Then after that, we have to use the keyword to, followed by the user name. And the username should be existing. So the username should be created before we grant the privileges. Okay? So we have somebody from Somalia, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Is this a new student or one of the existing students?
Existing student.
Okay. Okay. So this is Rashid, right?
No, Abdi Aziz. Rashid is from Indonesia.
So who is from Somalia? You know his name?
Abdi Aziz.
Abdul Aziz. Abdul Aziz.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I thought he's a new student. That's why I confused. Okay. So here, as I mentioned, the user is supposed to be created before we grant her or him the privileges. Okay. So there are other commands that should be used also to create the user, or to modify or alter the name of the user, or maybe to delete the user, or to disable it, to activate it. There are many other commands, but for this course we only are going to learn about the grant and revoke. Okay, so as you see here, the structure of the grant command is exactly similar to the revoke command, with a little difference. Okay, so what we have to remember is only to remember the main structure. Then after that, everything's supposed to be easy to deal with. Okay, so here we have the grant command, and here we have the revoke. So it's exactly the same structure. The only difference is the first keyword. So here we can revoke. Revoke means take all privileges. In this case, take all privileges from the user Salmi on the table employee. And also we can revoke certain privilege only, or we can revoke some privileges, not all. So we can list them like update, comma, delete, comma. Don't forget to put comma here or here. It's the same thing. So that's all about the DCL. That's all about the grant, and that's all about the revoke. And here, this part is already finished. Okay, so we have to go to the other slides. I'm not sure whether I uploaded this before to the Bootstrap Blast or not. Before this, we still have 4 people absent, right? 4 people absent? No, 2 only. So please don't forget to record your attendance. Otherwise, you will be considered absent. So later you will be in a problem. You will not be allowed to enter the final exam if you forget to register your attendance. You have to attend minimum 85%. Otherwise, you are not allowed to enter the exam. Okay? So this is the faculty rule, the university rule actually, is not the faculty rule. If you get into this situation, then later you have to write a letter to the faculty dean, then you have to wait until they allow or reject it. Okay? So please don't forget. The other thing that we have to check here is the slides on the Bootstrap Blast. Yeah, data manipulation language is already uploaded here, so you can easily download it. Okay, here, for data manipulation language, it's not hard actually. Also, it's very simple. Even though they separated in different presentation slides, but it's not hard. But because in here we have many cases already, many scenarios that we have to understand. But in general, we have only 4 commands. Only 4 commands. So in this presentation, we will learn about how to define key terms like join, equi-join, self-join, non-equi-join, natural join, outer join, set operators, and subqueries. Everything we have to learn. So here also we learn how to apply the DML command to insert, update, and delete data from tables, and how to write single and multiple table queries using SQL commands, and how to write queries using subqueries. Okay, so that's all about this presentation. So it will be all about this. Nothing complicated, but you have to focus all. Okay, so the main commands we have in this category of the DML, we have 4 commands. Insert command to insert data into existing table. Select command is to read or retrieve data from existing table Also update is to update data, to update existing data, and delete is to delete some or all data in certain table. Okay, so that's all. This what they call it CRUD. So if you know about the CRUD, do you know about the CRUD? CRUD is this one. C is create, to insert. R is read, which is the select. Then the U is the update, and D is the delete. So CRUD is very important for any system. Okay, very important for any system, and also for your employability later. If you don't know about this CRUD, nobody is going to hire you. So especially if you apply for a position that's related to designing or building or developing software. So in this case, the first question is this: do you know about the CRUD or not? If you know, then they will go further and ask you about other things. But if you don't know about this, they may reject you from the first time, or from the beginning. Okay, so that's why it's very important. Don't waste time. Try to understand it as quickly as you can. Okay, DML adding data. So in order to add data into the database, into an existing table, so we have to use the insert command. The structure of the insert command is as you can see here. So we have to use the keyword insert into, followed by the table name, then followed by the keyword values, and after that between two brackets, or two braces. Some people they say brackets, some people they say braces. It's up to you. So between two braces, we should list our data. We should list our data based on our fields. So this command actually is the basic command, and this one is the this one is the basic command, and this one is the shortened command. This one is shorter than the other one. So when we can use this, the first command, or when we can use the second command. So the second command actually is no matter the sequence or the order of the fields inside your table, we can list them in our way. So if let's say the table is like this, maybe the table is like that. So it has three fields. The first one is sales. Then the second one is last name, and the third one is the state, like this. So in this case, if we use this command like that, it's going to work. It's going to work easily, because no matter how we order the fields, but the matter is only to make them in line with their values. So this always makes problems for me when I write on the screen. It sometimes closes. So this value here is for this field, okay, and this value here is for this field, and this value here is for this field. Okay, so we have to follow the same order we used at the beginning. Even though if this order is different than the original order of the fields inside the table. Okay, but if let's say we wanted to use the exact order of fields in the table, then here, if let's say we want to add data for all columns, then we easily write value directly. No need to list the column names. Okay, we just list the values immediately, and so this one will be supposed to the field number 1, and this one is going to be saved to the field number 2, and this one is for field number 3. But if let's say the table has 4 columns like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you only entered 3 values. Even if you want this one is for field number 4, it's going to be saved into column number 3 because you did not list the table fields. Okay, so if let's say you want to skip one field, you don't want to insert data into it, then in that case we have to go to the second command here. We use this second command. Okay, so let us go and take some examples here. I'm going to open the SQL developer. Sorry for the for being late. I didn't upload the videos into the Butra Blast because I really am very busy. I couldn't get time to upload it. But anyway, I prepared everything and all videos now ready. Inshallah, I will try this week to upload all of the recorded videos. Okay? Inshallah. Then after that, you can easily follow. But before that, don't waste time. Just take your slides and try to practice. Try to practice. You have to write more commands. You have to try many scenarios, many examples. Otherwise, you will never learn. Because the much you write commands, the better you get familiar with. Okay? Last week we worked on the FSKTM database, right? Am I right?
Right.
Okay, so we have to wait for it. It needs time to load.
Doctor, if you upload the video on Putra Blast, will it be deleted after 14 days?
No. Actually, what I do, I upload to YouTube. Then after that, I provide only the link into the Butra Blast. So all of my videos are available on YouTube on my channel. So even if you want to prepare yourself for the next semester for the network protocols, you can go through my previous class, and here my previous class. Oh, not this. I just want to share with you this. Oh, why doesn't change? I have two channels, but this one is Arabic channel. It's very beneficial. Also, I have many classes here regarding the research, how to write thesis, how to write papers, and so on. But unfortunately, it's in Arabic. The only I have here for in English. I don't know why it doesn't open, but yeah, this one. This one here, you can go to the videos and you can use my name like that, search on it, and you can find all things related to the network protocols with the practice and everything. So if you want to prepare yourself for next semester, you can go through. Unfortunately, actually, I'm not going to give you this course next semester because I moved to other course. I have been given this course for a long time actually, but next semester, inshallah, I will change to parallel computing. So, but anyway, you can go through. The material is still the same. So maybe if you like my way of teaching, you can go through and you get learn. Okay, guys?
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. What I was trying to say, yeah, okay, just open. Okay, here in this table, we in this database, we have two tables. We have rooms table and faculty members. So let us check what data we have saved into the rooms table, for example. So what we can how we can retrieve the data is to write select. I don't know how to increase the size of the font. But anyway, I will try to. Yeah, it's here. last time in the preferences. Can you try to see with me? Code editor, fonts. Yes. This one we make it 18 for you to see it clearly. Okay. Is it clear now?
Yeah.
Clear? Or we make it bigger? Maybe we need to make it bigger.
Also can Doctor.
Okay, we'll try to. Okay. How to retrieve data from a certain table? So the first thing we have to mention what kind of data we want to retrieve. So we write the select. If we remember the table columns, then we can write them. But if we don't remember table columns, we can put star. Star means anything or everything. Everything inside the table. So here, after this, we have to mention from what table. So we can later say rooms. Okay? Then we have to put the semicolon. Semicolon is not necessary if we have only one command. But if we have multiple commands, then we have to put semicolon, then we start the other command after that. Okay? Here, if we select this and we run, the selected command only will get executed. So here, what is the problem? The problem is what? Table or view does not exist. Why does not exist? Because I think we are on the wrong database here. We are working on the my local DB. Okay, my local database doesn't have any table yet. So we have to delete this. No. And we have to open the FSKTM here. Or maybe here we right click, then we click here, then we press the new database connection or whatever here we need, or this one like that. Then we select database file and SQL file here, then we press OK. After this, we mention the name and also the directory that we want to save it into. And after that, we open it, will give us an empty space like this. So we immediately can write our commands here. So here, or this one that's open by default, it's the same thing. Okay, so I'm going to use the new one. So here we run. Yeah, it asks me to select. So I select the proper database. Then, or maybe if I don't want to select this, I can select the database before I run my command. So I can say use, then I mention the database name, and after that, I run my command. Okay? So here, that's all. That's all we have in our database. So we have one field called ID and the other field called BLDG and room number and also maximum capacity, then the room style. Okay? So if let's say we want to select only the available room numbers, for example. So in this case, we can say room number. Okay? You can see here, we have the IntelliSense here. Okay? So we can easily select from the menu, from the drop-down menu. So easy. Sorry. But this one, the drop-down list is shown here because we already mentioned the table. But if let's say we are writing the command like that, select, then we write like this, there is no drop-down list. Why there is no drop-down list? Because we did not mention the table. So the first thing, if we want to use the drop-down list, we can mention the table name like that, then we press the dot, and after that we can see all available fields inside that table. Okay, so after this we can select room number from rooms. Okay, so here if we run, because we have only single command, so it will show retrieve us only the selected column, this one, this column only. Also this one works, and if we remove here this table name, also it will give the same result. Okay, but in terms of writing the correct column names, to ensure that you wrote the correct column name, because when you write like this, if let's say from is not mentioned, maybe you remember that the room number is like this with underscore while it's wrong. So after you run from, because this one is not smart, this editor is not smart enough, that's why it can accept like this. It doesn't show any error here, right? Because it only checks the syntax. So if we run here, then we'll see an error. What is the error? Invalid identifier, room number. Room number is wrong. So then to make sure that everything is correct, maybe we need to come here and check, oh, this one is without underscore, then we modify. Or the other way is only to write rooms, then dot, and after that we can see room number like this. Okay. So anyway, both commands are given the same syntax. And also, if let's say you want to show the room number and the capacity, for example, followed by the style, by the room style. Okay. The order of the columns actually is not like this. The order of columns here is ID, BLDG, room number, maximum capacity, room style. Even you can change the order like that. So any order you want to use is okay, no problem. So you can write like this. So exactly, I mean, totally different order. And when you run here, it can show you the result. Okay. So here we can run another command, select star from rooms like this, semicolon, then we run. So in this case, we will get the two results, supposed to get the two results. But anyway, it shows only one table. It's supposed to show two tables. Okay. This one is the first table, and this one is the second table. You see, this one for the first select, and the other one is for the second select. Okay, this is supposed to be in the same box last time, but I don't know why it's it's changed a little bit. Anyway, so we can close this. We can keep that only. Then here we already understand how the select command looks like. Okay, is that clear, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. What if we want to change the column names here? We don't like to see these column names because this column names has no spaces between them, and also it does not look nice. So in this case, we can select room number as and show it as like this. Then we put like this single quotation, and we can say room number like that if we want to show space. So in this case, if we run, what happened? Oh, wrong. What happened here? What happened here? The wrong thing we used is the single quotation, because here we have to use double quotation. You see the color, how the color changed? So in this case, we can see the result. So here the column name is already changed to room space number. Also this one, if let's say we don't want to see room style, maybe we can say as like this, style only. Okay, so in this case it can show different column name. Okay, and here also we can say as capacity. Okay. So here we already modified the column names, the appearance of the column names here, using what? Using the keyword as. So we use as, then we give a new name, Then after that, we put column, comma, followed by the other columns and so on. Also, we can remove this as. Okay, we can remove this as, but this one is going to be very hard to understand. If the command is complicated, then you are going to confuse which one is for which one, and this is going to waste your time. So that's why writing as is very good to explain or to show the correct structure for your columns. Okay, so it's still working, it's still giving the same result. Okay, is that clear? Is it clear?
Clear.
Yeah, okay. We jump to the as keyword, but anyway, it comes together because we cannot skip them. So here, this is the command of the select, but before the select, we have to insert something, right? We have to insert something. So the command that we study now is the insert command. The insert command, as you can see, when you write insert, you can see the structure here. So either to select the first one, which is insert into, then P followed by values, followed by braces including number 1. So this one means you have to mention the values only if you want to mention the values only. So in this case, if we select the first one, it will show this. So here we have to write the table name into rooms, and values are like this. So in this command, if we use this command, we have to remember the structure. We have to remember the order of the columns, as we can see here on the left side. So if we want to put the room number, so room number should be the third parameter, okay? So here we can see the structure, but unfortunately the column names are here. No, not here. So in this case, we have to remember the structure. So the first one is the ID. What we want to put for the ID, we want to put, we don't know what ID we already used. So that's why we have to write select star from rooms here, and we select it like that. So the first room is ID 1. Here we will put ID number 2, then comma. So as you can see here, after we put the comma, we can see the what they call it, the columns list. Or maybe when we open the bracket like this and we close, we can see the structure. We open the bracket, then we can see the structure. BLDA, and after that we have, I don't know what's the BLDA. It's BLDG in small. Okay. Then after that ID, and after that maximum capacity. Is this a correct the correct order of the columns? It's not correct, right? So it's confusing a little bit. That's why you have to remember the structure, or maybe you go to the tree here of the table and you click on the plus icon here, the plus icon to list down your table fields in the correct syntax or the correct order. So here we have to mention number 2 because the ID is number, so we don't have to use any quotation. For the BLDG, I forget actually the structure. I forget the structure. How to show the structure of the table? It's only by writing like this. Describe rooms. So describe rooms here can show me the structure of the table here. Number, char 1 field only. Varchar room number is varchar 2 and 10 characters. Then the maximum capacity is a number, and after that the room style. So if let's say I want to fill only all fields in the same order, in the correct order. So in this case, we can immediately mention the values as we will do now. So here the second one is character. We are going to use the single quotation. Then after that we have to put, I don't know what's the BLDG, but anyway, I'm going to use B here. Then after that followed by comma. Then here we have another character varchar. So here the room number, if let's say room number is 01, 02, 03, 04, 05. This is 10 characters, okay? And here, if let's say the maximum capacity is, for example, 4 people, okay? It's a number, right? And after that, we have another varchar, which is the style. So the style here, we forget actually, what is the style, right? We forget the style. So the style here is, last time we have lab, we have also lecture, and so on. But we already forget. So in order to remember how we designed the table last time, we have to right click on the table and click edit. Then here we can see the constraints. So the constraints here, we have the BLDG. Sorry, here we have the check. Check here. BLDG has A, B, C values. Only these 3 values are allowed. A or B or C. For the other column, which is the room style, we have lecture, lecture/lab, lab only, or office only. Okay? So if we write anything other than this, it's not going to be accepted. Okay? So here, let us try to write BB like this. Or maybe this one is 1 character, we write D. And here for this laboratory, like this. And we check, is it possible to run? No, it's wrong. Why wrong? Because here we can see the thing. Insert into rooms values, 2D, blah, blah, blah. Here we have check constraint. Check constraint violated. That means we have some constraints violated. So if we check here the table and we can find the constraints here, we can check them. So we have the primary key constraint. So maybe the room ID is used before this. So maybe the number 2 is used. That's why it shows an error. So we have to check, is it used before or not? So in our case, we have only 1 room with the room number 1. So the primary key is not wrong. And after that, we check this. Okay, this field, the BLDG has accept only A and B, A or B or C, and we put D here. So this is the first thing. And after that, we check the other one. The room style is accepting only these 4 values, and we have different value here. So the thing we want to do is like this, lab, and this B, for example, and we run again. Okay, still have some issues. Okay, why the issues? Because this one is like this, lab. Okay, supposed to be capital. Okay, 1 row is inserted. If we retrieve the information now from the using the select star from rooms, then we can see the 2 rooms here available in our table. Okay, so the syntax here is very easy. Okay, what if we want to run the command, but we want only to fill the necessary columns only? So we want to insert the room ID and the room number, and the other fields we want to keep them null. Okay, we want to keep them null. So in this case, if let's say I wrote number 2 like that, then I delete this. Instead of number 2, I write room number 3, and instead of this, maybe I use other number, maybe 0000 0003, for example. Then here I don't want to fill up all of this information. Okay, only the room ID and the room number. Is it going to work? This command, is it going to work? it's not going to work. Why? Because this column is supposed to be the value of the second column, the value of the second column. So the second column is the BLDG. BLDG can accept only one character, and we give long sequence. So if let's say here we put C, then it's going to be run. This is going to be run, but it will show us different error. Why different error? Because here we have insert into room value, this one. What's the error? Because we have not enough values. Why not enough values? Because the room number is mandatory. So here we have to put the room number. Room number is like this, for example. So if let's say we run this, so this is the minimum. Okay, what's wrong with it? Not enough values. Why? Because also we have another constraint for the room style. For the room style, we have another constraint. So in this case, if let's say we want to fill up the room style, but we don't want to fill up the maximum capacity, then in this case, we can write like this, for example, lab, but this one is going to be saved into the maximum capacity, right? Because maximum capacity is number 4. So what we want to do, we have two options here. The first option is to write null here to fill the field number 4 with null value, or maybe it could run, I think. Okay, one row inserted, but in this case we have to give value for all columns, as you can see here, right? If let's say we don't want to mention which one is null, which one is not null, so we can write the command in the other style. So instead of mentioning the values directly, we can mention the column names first. After the table name, we can mention after the column, the table name, we can mention the columns. So the first thing, we have to mention the ID, comma, room number, like this. Okay, this is the minimum, right? Oops. Okay. Well, let us start from here. Insert here. We can yes, we have to put the table name here, rooms. I sometimes I confuse because I use different SQL languages, because Oracle uses BLSQL, Microsoft uses TSQL, and MySQL is a different SQL, also different SQL structure. It's not similar to the Oracle, and also different than the Microsoft. It's something at the middle. But anyway, all the structure, the general structure is all the same. The only differences is some of them use single bracket, single quotation, some of them using double quotation, some is enforcing double quotation here and single here, some is using braces, some doesn't use. It's different versions with a little bit differences. Okay, so the things that we have to mention here is the column name, followed by the other column name, room number, and after that I can mention room number 4, and here I can mention the room ID. So maybe this one is like that. So is it going to work? This one, is it going to work? It's going to work. Yes, it's already inserted. Okay, but here I don't have to mention values for every field. Why? Because I said that I want to insert only values for these two columns only. That's why I provide these two columns. But the only thing that I have to confirm is the first value here is for the first column. The second value is for the second column. Okay, in the new order that I give. Okay, so if I select star from rooms, I can see the table is already inserted, and here the columns that don't have any values inserted by this command is keeping or showing the result null. Okay, Is that clear, guys?
Yes.
Yes. So if to summarize, if I want to use the same syntax and I want to provide all, values for all fields, then no need to mention the column names in the insert into command. Okay. Otherwise, if I want only to insert some values for only selected columns or some columns from the table, in that case, I have to mention the columns. Okay. So the general syntax is like this. Just write insert, then give it a space into, you can see here, 3 types. Okay. The third type is this. Third type is this. So if let's say you put this, rooms, values are null, like this actually is not going to be run because we have some mandatory fields. Okay, so here your database connection has been reset. Oops. Okay, not enough values, you see, because we have 2 fields which are mandatory, cannot accept null. Okay, this one not null, not null. Okay, that's why this command doesn't work. Okay, the only 2 commands that you have to remember is these 2. These 2 keywords are mandatory. This keyword is mandatory. Then we have an optional 2 braces including the list of columns that we want to insert values for. And after the values here, we have 2 braces including values followed by semicolon. Okay, but we have to make sure if the field is integer, for example, number, I have to put the number without quotation. Otherwise, if the field is character, then we have to mention the quotation. I'm not sure whether this one could work or not, so I think double quotation could work also here. I'm not sure, but we have to try it. Because as I mentioned, different versions of SQL in my mind. That's why I don't know which one is working, which one is not working. Okay, this one is, I am not sure whether the connection is lost or not, because it shows that the connection is already lost. It's still working. So this one, okay, this one doesn't work. Column not allowed here. You see? This one is not allowed. Okay? Starting at line, column 42. Column 42. So we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. So this one is an error. You see here, column number 42 in line number 7. Line number 7 is this. Because this one, you can count lines 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is line number 7, and here is the column number 42. So this is the mistake here. Okay. We have to change it to single quotation, like that. Yes.
What if I switch the position of ID and room number at the line 7? Is it okay?
You mean like this? Like this?
Yes, yes. And then at the rooms, I also change.
Here.
Yes.
Yeah, it can. Yeah, it's
Can, right?
that's why this option is provided here, because here if you want to mention the column names, you can mention them in any order, but after that you have to make sure that the first order is compatible with the first column, the second value is compatible with the second column. Okay, so like this, room number 5, like that, for example. So we run. it works. One row inserted. Okay? No matter in what sequence or in what order you put. You see, we already lost the other data that we inserted before because the connection got lost and comes back. When the connection is lost and your data you insert into or using your insert command is not going to be saved permanently. Why? Because here you did not run the command commit. So if you want to commit here, if you want to make this, I mean, permanently, then you have to run commit command. Okay? So this commit command, if we run commit complete. So if we run, these two columns are permanently is going to be saved, even if we disconnect this. How to disconnect from here? Rollback. This one is commit, this one is rollback. This one, if we roll back here and we run again, it's not going to be rolled back. Okay? Why? Because it's already committed. But if, let's say, we inserted this room, run like this, then we see this command, we retrieve this information, we found room number 3, then we decided to roll back. So we have two options, roll back like this, okay, roll back, or to click this rollback. It's up to you. Okay, so if we roll back like that or like this, it's the same thing, the same result. Then we list the data we have in our table. We can see that the record number 3 is already removed. Why? Because we did not commit. So this is very important. You have to remember always to commit your database or to commit your commands that you have done to be applied permanently to your database. Okay? Is that clear, guys?
Yes.
Okay. One more thing here. This one is finished. One more thing here, we have also use the update and set keywords and specify table name, field names, where clause, optional, where clause is optional. Okay. Update inventory, set price. This one is another command, guys. Okay, don't confuse. So we have the update command followed by the table name, followed by the field names, then after that where clause. So this one is optional. So we can say that update these values for this column for certain records, because if we run the update command without the where clause, then the update is going to be applied for all records, and this is very, very dangerous as well. Okay, so the update and delete command is always used with the where clause, unless you want to delete all rows or you want to update all rows using the same values. Okay, so here we can see this command. So we use the update table name, then set keyword followed by the column name, then equal, and after that the value. The value could be a direct value and could be a condition. Okay, condition like this or operation. Okay, so this one is the basic command. This one is going to update all records with this value. Okay, but if we want to update only, for example, room number 5 or room number 1 only, we want to change its capacity, then we have to mention where the room number is equal to something. Okay, okay, let us see now. Let us update our table. Update only record number 5. So we need to insert some values for the BLDG and for the maximum capacity, and the room style for the room ID number 5. So in this case, what I have to do is to write like this, update. Then here we have two tables. Then I have to mention the table like that. I put extra space. So I have to mention the table name. Then here we have three keywords. So we have partition, we have set, we have subpartition. The two things here, the first one, the partition and the subpartition, actually are out of the scope of this course. I'm not going to explain it to you. The only thing that we are going to use is the set. So here followed by the column ID, column name. So maybe for the room number 5, we want to change the BLDG. So BLDG may be equal to, for example, A. Then followed by the other column. The other column, for example, is the capacity. Capacity is equal to, for example, 20. Then if let's say we want to put the room style as well, room style here, room style is equal to, for example, lecture. Okay, so that's all. If we run this command like that, it's going to update the two rooms. Okay, it's going to update all records. Even if we have 1,000 records, all of them will get the same capacity. All of them will have the value A for the BLDG, and also the room style of all records will be lecture. Okay, but this is not the case. The case is to mention. The case is to mention for what records we are going to update. So here, where we have to mention, for example, the ID is equal to, for example, 5. Okay, ID is integer, right? So in this case, we can use the value immediately. Okay, so here we can run this. Okay, one row is updated. Okay, so if we select here again, we can see that this room has been updated based on our last command. Only this room, while the room number 1 is not updated. Why? Because we mentioned that where the ID is equal to 5 only. So only this field could have what they call it, could have been updated. Okay, so if let's say we want to change, the capacity of all our rooms because of, for example, because of the corona, and the capacity should be reduced by, for example, by 25%, for example. So the total number of the total capacity of all rooms must be changed to 15, for example. So in this case, if let's say we want to change all lecture rooms to have only 15 students. So in this case, our condition is like this. So update rooms, set the maximum capacity 15 for all lecture rooms when the room style is equal to lecture. So how many rooms here we have with lecture? We have only one room. So this room is only going to be modified. Okay, let us try this. Yeah. So this room is only modified. Okay, 15. And if let's say we don't want to use the condition here and we want to change like that, change all capacities, all rooms capacities to 10. So in this case, we just run like that without condition, and we can see here 2 rows updated. So if we check here, then we will see the 2 rows updated with the value. Okay. Is there any question regarding the update command? Any question, guys?
No.
So where clause is very important when we deal with the update and the delete. Otherwise, our update could be applied for all rooms. Okay. So let us try here to okay, apply room number equal to 001, for example. This one is character, so this one is for where, if let's say I want to change the style of the room numbers, the format of the room numbers, as you can see, the first room is 2-13, the second room is 000, and so on. Okay, so in this case, if let's say we are going to change the style of the rooms, then maybe we, for example, we change for the room number 5. We make it 13, for example, 12. Where room with room ID, sorry, where ID is equal to 5. Okay. So here, we run. You can see that the things are compatible now. Okay. Let us insert other rooms. So maybe we insert room number 2. This one is C. Maybe the number is like this, 214. Null. This one is not maximum capacity, right? Maximum capacity, for example, is 20. This one is lab. Insert. So if we see here, okay. Let us insert another room, number 3. This one is, for example, A. And this one is 3, 14, 20, for example, is okay. That we select. We have room 1, 2, 3, 4 is missed. So we add 4, for example, like this, and we run, because we need to have enough data in our table in order to understand the process of how it's going to run. Okay, if let's say, for example, if let's say we want to change the maximum capacity, we change it, because here we can see there is one room, lecture room with capacity 10, 2 lecture room with capacity 20. Suppose that the SOB enforces the capacity to be only 15. So in this case, we have to make the maximum capacity 15, where the room of room style is lecture, right? Like this. So in this case, it's going to modify 3 rows. Okay, so here we retrieve the data again. We can see that the 3 lecture rooms become 15. Okay, for labs, suppose that labs is enforced to be only, for example, 20. Okay, or for example, 13. Okay, because here we have 10 and 20. If let's say we want to make both of them 13, so in this case we change where the room style is lab and the number 13. Okay, so here 2 rows only. If we check here, we can see that the update is only applied for the 2 rooms. Okay, here, if this is how to use the update command. If you don't have any question here, we just go and move to the remove data or delete command. Okay, how to delete data from the table is only by using this command, delete from table. If you mention this delete from table only, so all records are going to be deleted. But if you want to delete certain records, then you have to use the where clause with a condition. Okay, let us come here and commit this. So we want to commit this information. Okay, otherwise we are going to lose many things. Suppose that we run this. So suppose that we run this command. So we run delete from rooms. Okay, we run only this command. So in this case, all records are going to be deleted. Okay, run 5 rows deleted. Okay, so if we list our table, then it show nothing, right? So in this case, we have two options, either to commit and the data is going to be gone forever, or to roll back. So if we roll back, then we retrieve our data, then we could see the data, because data at the beginning when we use the delete command is not deleted forever, it's deleted temporarily. So if we commit, it will be deleted forever. If we roll back, it will be returned to the table. Okay, is that clear, guys?
Clear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also,
Clear.
the update command, if let's say we want to use the update command like this, update maximum capacity, update rooms, set maximum capacity equal to 0, like this, and we forget to put the where clause. So in this case, if we run 5 rows, all rows have been updated. So here, if we run the select here, we can see that all capacity are 0. So in this case, if we commit, then it will be saved forever. Otherwise, we roll back and we run the command again, we can see our original data. Okay, so be careful. When you update and delete, make sure that you use the correct condition. Okay, let us delete the record number 5, because it looks ugly. It's not ordered. So maybe we delete this. Okay, so here we can write where ID is equal to 5. So in this case, if we run, one row is updated. Here, oh, what we do? We update. Oops. We want to delete, actually. Delete from rows where ID is equal to 5. So in this case, is only one row is deleted. And if we run the select command, we can see that the room number 5 is already deleted. Okay, so here, if let's say we want to commit, okay, commit, then we check here. Okay, it's deleted forever. Okay, is that clear, guys? Very simple. Yeah, very simple. Okay. Also, we can delete by condition like greater than, less than, or not null, or null or is not null. So condition could have many things. So we can delete where ID, for example, is greater than 5. So if we run this, how many rows we are going to delete if we run this command?
0.
0, because we have no rooms greater than number 5, right? We have 1, 2, 3,
Yes.
4. Okay, what if we change it to 3? How many rooms are going to be deleted?
1.
Only 1, right? Which is room number 4. But if we want to delete 3 and 4, then we can say greater than or equal. like this. Greater than or equal, it will delete 3 and 4. Okay. Also, we can delete where, for example, where the maximum capacity, for example, is not null, for example, like this, is not null. Capacity is number actually, so maybe we can say that when the room style is not null, or maybe is null. Okay, so if we run this, how many rooms are going to be deleted?
0. 0.
Why 0?
Because there is no room style that is null.
Yes, correct. So how we can insert a room with room style equal to null? So let us try this one. This one is also null, for example, and this one is 5, for example. Capacity is 15, maybe, or 30. This one is lab. Okay, let us run this. We insert one row. We see here. Okay, so here we have one room with the BLDG is null. So if let's say the rooms with BLDG equal to null is actually wrong entries. So if we decided to delete them, we can say delete when BLDG is null. Okay, so in this case, one row is going to be deleted only. Okay, the row that has the BLDG column equal to null. Okay, also we can delete things where it's not null. It's not null. What if we want to delete, for example, rooms that the capacity, we want to keep only rooms with the capacity 15, for example. So other than 15, we want to delete. What we should run, or what we should write here in the where closed. If we want to delete only rooms with capacity equal to 15.
Room capacity, where max capacity not equal to 15.
Okay, maximum capacity not equal. How to write not equal? Not equal.
Exclamation mark.
Yeah, it could be exclamation mark in some versions, and in some versions it's something like this. Really, honestly, I confuse always, because I always move from Oracle to SQL. I confuse which one is for which one. So if we run this, 4 rows deleted. Okay, so let us see here. Maximum capacity not equal to 0. The command is wrong actually. We have all rooms has a maximum capacity not equal to 0. So what we do now, we roll back, we run like this. Okay, not equal to 15. So we want only to keep 15. Okay, so here if we run, only 2 has been deleted. Okay, so here the rooms that we kept is only rooms with capacity equal to 15. Okay, so not equal is like this: less than and equal than, greater than. Less than, greater than means not equal. If we use exclamation mark with equal like this, I am not expecting it could work. Oh yes, it works as well. Okay, let us try. So we roll back, let us run. Yes, it could work. So we can use either. Okay, we can use either for not equal, we can use exclamation equal, or less than, greater than. It's up to you. Okay, that's all about the delete command. Okay, here now how to select data. How to select data. To retrieve data, we have two things. We have two types of selection. The first type is to select some columns. The other type is to select some rows, right? So the first table here, as you can see here, we have one table with 5 columns, but we want to select only 2 columns, the red ones here. So in this case, after the select keyword, we have to mention what columns we want to display, right? And the other way is only to select some rows, including all columns. So in this case, we have to use the where closed. We have to use the where closed. So here, if let's say we are here, so select star where, for example, oh sorry, we have to rule back first. Okay, then we have to run this command. Oops. Yes. So here we have 4 rows. If let's say we want to select only, we want to display only labs. So in this case, we can say select star for rooms where room style is equal to like this lab. Okay. So in this case, our command is going to show only the rooms that has room style equal to lab. So we can see here too. If let's say we want to show lectures only, lectures. Okay, so in this case run, we can see only the lecture table. Okay, so this is how to filter rows only, not to filter columns. So if we don't want to filter the columns, we have 2 options, or either to use the star or to list all columns here between the select and from. Okay, this is only to display all columns. But if let's say we want to show certain columns here, only we want to select certain columns. So for example, we want to display the ID, then room number, for example, room number and capacity, for example, maximum capacity. Okay, so here we can show like this. So only we selected some columns here, we filtered the columns, and after that we filtered the rows together. So we can show something totally different than the original table, right? But the data is correct, exactly as before. Is that clear, guys? So
Yes.
when we want to select columns, this is what they call it, projection. And when we want to select rows or filter rows, this is what they call it, selection. So we have 2 things of selecting data, projection and selection. Projection is only to select columns. Selection is only to select rows. Okay. Then we have another type of selecting data, which is called join. Okay. So join is to select multiple, to select data from multiple tables. To select data from multiple tables. Okay. Later we will see when we need this join. What's the applications of the join? So let us go through here. Basic select statement. Basic select statement is the select command, as I explained. So select command has many options. So we can use star to display all columns, and we can use the keyword distinct, and after that we can mention some column names after the distinct. This one is or, means or, so we can use this or this option or that option. Okay, so here we can use an expression. Okay, so for example, if let's say we want to display the room capacity, sorry, like that, room capacity, room ID, or maybe we want to select star like this, oh sorry, control Z. If let's say we want to show the ID, room number, maximum capacity, and the room style. Okay, then if let's say we want to run like that, so it will show us the exact capacity here, the exact capacity that we saved into our database. But what if we want to show capacity that's allowed by the government? For example, if let's say the government wants us to reduce 25% of the room, of the capacity of every room. So in this case, we can multiply by 0.75. 0.75, that means we only show the capacity, the 75% of the real capacity. Okay, so in this case, we can use condition. This one is called condition. Instead of the column, we can use condition. Then if we run like that, if we run like this, we can see the column name here is maximum capacity times 0.75. Okay, so if let's say we want to change the column name here, we can use the as, like that. Then we can say the SOP capacity, for example, capacity. Okay, so in this case, if we run like that, oh, this one is double quotation. Okay, so SOB capacity is like this. Okay, so this is the allowed capacity by the government. Then if let's say you want to delete the fraction, or maybe you want to round it to the nearest one, then you can use whatever function. There are many functions here you can use. So maybe you can use, for example, ceiling, or maybe round. Yes, round. And this one like that. So instead of 9.75, we can see what kind of result we will get. So 9.75 is rounded to the nearest one, it become 10, and the other one become 11. Okay, the column name is changed here, and we can see we can manipulate the data. We can manipulate the style of showing or displaying the data to the customer, or to into the system, or whatever. Okay, is that clear, guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Doctor,
Yes.
what if we want to make the SOP capacity permanent?
If you want to apply that, then you have to go and update.
Oh, you cannot do from the select?
No. If you want to save it here into the database, then you have to update, because this one, whenever you run the command select star, if we run the command select star from rooms, so it's going to show us the real values saved. You see here 10, 10, 11, 11, but the real values saved into our database is different. 13, 13, 15, 15. If you want really to update this into the database permanently, then you have to go and update. So if you want to update your capacity based on this criteria, like that, so you have to go and update rooms, set maximum capacity equal to maximum capacity, like that, max capacity times, oh sorry, we directly use this function. So the maximum capacity, the new maximum capacity will be the 75% of the existing maximum capacity rounded to the nearest one. So in this case, if we don't want to use where, so here, if let's say we want to use this command only, like that, 4 rows have been updated. So if we select here, then it will show us the really save the information into our database. Okay, so this is how to permanently update the database. And if you want temporarily to change your display of data, then you can go and manipulate it into or inside your select statement. Is that clear?
Clear.
Yeah, so now if we run this command again, if we run this select command again with the manipulation of this column, the capacity, then we could see values different than that. Now everything is 8 now. Why? Because this one actually is going to be applied over the recently updated values. Okay? So real values saved into the database is this. Okay, 10, 10, 11, 11. If we want to roll back like that and we run this, so we get 13, 13, 15, 15. Okay? So permanently update, you have to update. Temporarily manipulate your data or change your display, use select. Okay. Let us learn about different thing. Okay, what if we run select, then we run, for example, room style from rooms here. So in this case, if we run this command, it's going to show us lab, lecture, right? So if the same field is, or the same value is repeated many times, actually is going to be displayed here. What if I want to check or to list only the values that is unique? So in this case, I have to say distinct, like that, room style. Select distinct room style from rooms. So in this case, it's going to show only one lab and only one lecture. Okay, let us try. One lecture, one lab. Okay, so distinct is only to show unique rows. Okay, so if we remove this, again like that. Okay, what if we show like this, maybe BLDG. Okay, BLDG. What if I say distinct here? What will happen? Here, what will happen, guys, in this command? Can you imagine what will happen? What kind of data is going to be displayed? No answer. Okay, just keep in mind how this table looks like. We have 4 columns: lab B, lab C, lecture A, lecture A. So we have 2 columns, 2 rows are equal. 2 columns, 2 rows with equal or with the same information. Okay, if we run this command here, what is going to happen? The repeated column, the repeated rows actually is going to be filtered. So here, whatever we listed here is going to be unique, or is going to retrieve unique rows. So the entire row is going to be unique. That's why lecture A was displayed twice. Now it's only displayed one time because we used the distinct. Is that clear?
Clear.
Okay.
Clear.
So if we remove distinct, yeah, it's back. Okay. I think it's very, very interesting, right? Very interesting to deal with the database, to manipulate the information, how to insert, how to update, how to delete, and how to display in different formats, different styles. It's very, very interesting. And all applications that you see today in everywhere are based on this kind of work. So in every system that deals with data, we have to have this kind of commands. Okay, so it's very, very important to learn. Okay, this is distinct. Column names, expression, already explained, and how to use alias name. Actually, the alias name is the name that is given after the as. So after we mention this, for example, as, and we give inside double quotation, we give any name. So this name is called alias name. So, or alternative name. Okay. If let's say, why we need to use this alternative name, if let's say room style is too long, I still want to use it in the where clause. So here we can mention that as, like that, room style, rs. Okay, I make it short. Then here I can use where rs is equal to, like that. Room style is what? For example, lab. Okay, so here to simplify the code. Okay. Oh, what happened? Room style as bedg, as rs, comma bedg from rooms where rs is equal to lab. What happened here? rs invalid variable, invalid identifier. Oops, it's supposed to work. Okay, it looks like it's not supported here in the what they call it in the Oracle. Anyway, I'm not going to confuse you. Yeah, it's not supported here, but it's supported. It's supported in other databases. Okay, so we will see the alias name in different commands like join. So in the join command, we can use the as alternative names or the alias names to simplify our commands. But that one is supposed to be used with the table names, not the column names. Okay, so column names, alias name for column names here is not supported in the Oracle to be used in the where clause. Okay, so here in the where clause you have to write the exact name of the column. You cannot use alias name. Okay. From the table name, this is already explained. Everything is explained here. Do you have any question in this regard? In this slide, is there any question?
No.
Okay. Okay, the expressions actually is already explained how to use expression into your query. So maybe if let's say you have salary and you want to display the annual salary, then you can multiply by 12. Then after that, this condition or this expression could use alias name to change the display here. So instead of showing salary times 12, we can use salary times 12 as, for example, as annual, like that, as annual, for example, salary. Okay, so it's up to you, whatever you want to use, whatever you want to apply, how the data you want to retrieve, it's up to you. Okay, so you can use plus, you can use minus, you can use star for multiplication, you can use slash for division, and so on. And also there are many functions that also could be used with the expressions. So one of the functions is the round function that I have used in the previous example. So we can use whatever available inside our environment. Okay, so expression could be like that. Last name, salary, and here's an example for the expression. 12 times salary plus 100, it will be like that. Maybe 12 times open braces, salary plus 100, it will show different result, and so on. So it's up to you. Whatever you want to do is possible to be done using the SQL. Okay. Defining a null value. So defining a null value is easy actually. When null is a value that is unavailable or unassigned, unknown, or inapplicable. So the null value could be used with all of this. So if let's say the salary is number, when we design the table, the salary was set to number, but the salary could be null, could be empty, right? So if we did not give value to the field of the salary, then the result will show null value. Null value means the value is not assigned, or maybe the value is not available, or maybe unknown, or inapplicable. Okay, so null is not the same as zero. It's different thing. It's not zero, it's not a blank space. Okay, so null is different thing, not zero, not a blank space. Okay, you have to differentiate between them. Is that clear, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
I think you already have this knowledge before with other courses like Java or whatever you have learned. So I think you already know what is null, right?
Yes.
Okay. So here defining a null value. So here continuous. Select last name, salary, commission, salary times commission. So if the salary is null or the commission is null, and we multiply the salary with the commission, we multiply two values, one of them is null, the result is going to be null because this one is unknown. 1,000 times null, it's unknown, null. Yeah, we cannot find the result for that. That's why it will be like that. Okay, is that clear?
Clear.
Clear.
Yeah. Column heading default. Column heading default. Okay. Uppercase, however, can be override the column heading with heading display with an alias. So if let's say the column names, the default of the column name is uppercase like this. Okay, whatever you write, it will be displayed as a capital letters, uppercase. But if you want to change this, if you want to show it in Campbell style, for example, you want to capitalize every word, and also if you want to give spaces to the column or to put spaces in the column names, then in that case you have to use the alias. Okay, the alias supposed to have other name like this. Okay, so name could be directly written like that, or if let's say if you want to have spaces, for example, you have to use the quotation marks. Okay, let us take an example for this, because this one is a new thing that you did not see before. So here select star, for example, this one, rooms like this. So this is the command. Okay, room style. As I said, if you want to show the room style in different way, you can use double quotation like this. Maybe you make it, as you can see here below, the room style name is uppercase, right? If let's say we want to make it like that, room style like this. So in this case, we run like that. It will be displayed in the other style that we wanted it to be. Okay. Also, we can provide space here in the name, right? So also we can see the space here in the column name. Okay, so in this case, if let's say there is no spaces for inside the new name, then we can directly write the new name after the as, or even after the exactly, or the after the original column name. So this is going to be used as alias name. Okay, so in this case we can see it's not working. Oh my god. Okay, so we have to mention as. Okay, so here as in other versions of SQL it could work, but here let us try again one more time. Yes, it works. So we can use as or without as, and also the alias name, if it doesn't have spaces, doesn't include spaces, it could be used without quotation. Okay, could be used written directly without quotation. Okay, what if we have space here? Let us return the as here to make it easy. Then we make sure that everything is run fine. Then after that, if let's say we want to provide space here, you can see here the color is totally different now. This one is considered the new name, but this one is considered another thing. So if we run like that, it's going to show an error. From keyword not found where expected. You see? Why? Because it's supposed now the from comes after something is unknown. Okay, so that's why if let's say we want to provide a space in the column name or in the alias name, we have to provide the quotation. But if there is no space, we can easily write it like that. Okay, clear? Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you sleepy? Are you sleepy, guys? You want to sleep? Little bit. Okay. Okay. So here we have to override this. So the name could be written like that. After as, if we want to provide spaces, we have to use quotation like this. Quotation when we have spaces. For this one is not necessarily. Okay, then if let's say we want to use special characters also, we have to provide quotation. So if the field name, we want to display the field name with special characters like star or slash or maybe hash or whatever, in this case we have to use quotation marks. Okay, what else here? Connector concatenation operator. So if let's say we have first name and last name and we want to put them together as one field. So here in the faculty members. So let us move to the faculty members. We select star from faculty members. Okay, let us see what results do we have here. Oh, we don't have anything. So let us insert some data. Insert some data. What kind of columns do we have? We have an ID. So maybe insert into faculty members. Why the IntelliSense doesn't show anything? Because we did not use comma, semicolon in the previous command. So insert into faculty members, then we provide values. After that we open braces, we use semicolon. Then here we can mention value number 1. Sorry, let us describe this table, because I totally forgot the structure of it. Okay, so here we have ID, it's number, then last name is character, last name is sorry, single quotation. Here the character maybe Ali, the second name, last name is family name. Oh, family name is first, then first name is the second. Okay, so here is, for example, Mustafa, then here comma, then after that department is do we have any constraints here applied to this table last time? I'm not sure, I totally forget. Okay, let us check the constraints here. So check here on in structure, associate, assistant, full, senior. Okay, then also this one is the rank, right? And after that we have another check, another constraint. What is this? Doesn't respond. Oh, it's twice. You see the same construction, the same constraint is saved twice. So this one is going to delay the performance. So we delete one of them. We just keep one, and okay. Okay, so here we have, what do we have here? Department. Department is whatever. So maybe we can say, for example, computer science. Okay, then we have office ID. We have 4 offices, maybe office ID number 1, which is number. Then phone number is varchar 011000054, for example. Then what do we have else? Here we have an email. So email is also varchar, so maybe email at .com, person 1 at email.com. And what else we have? The rank. So rank is, for example, senior. Okay, senior is wrong, so here we have to make it capital. Senior. Okay, let's say we run this. 1 row inserted. Okay, let us insert another person. So this one could be Ahmed. This one could be in the computer networks. This one is number 2, for example. Phone number is, for example, 656. Person 2, email.com. Senior, this one is, for example, full. Full is like this, capital as well. Okay, let's insert another person. Here, Muhammad, for example. And this one could be multimedia. Room number 3, for example, 777. Person number 3. This one is assistant. Okay, run here. Okay, assistant is wrong, I think. Assist. Oh, this one is without I. Okay. Okay, 1 row is inserted. So if we select star from here, we can see that we have 3 records already, 3 people inside our database. So what do we want to do here is to concatenate the last name and the first name. Okay, so if let's say we want to display that first name and last name, maybe we want to show the first name first, then after that the last name, like that. Sorry, last name like that. So this is going to be displayed in 2 separated columns. But what if we want to concatenate them together? So we can use the colon key in the keyboard. You know how to show this? Did you find it in your keyboard? It's it's above the enter, between the enter and backspace. Okay, if your keyboard is standard QWERTY. Okay, so this one is going to show the two first name and last name in the same column, but unfortunately the two things are concatenated without space. Concatenated without space. So here in this case, if let's say we want to add a space, so we can make a space like this, then another concatenate like that. So it will show us a space here between these two. Okay, is that clear, guys?
Clear.
Clear.
This one also could have alias name, so this one could be named as full name like that, but because we have a space here, we have to mention the we have to put the quotation. Okay, double quotation. So here, okay, full name is like that. What if the full name format is different? In some places they put the last name first, then after that comma and space, then it comes to the first name. So in this case, we can put the comma here inside the middle quotations here. So you have to and you have to know always, if you select something like this, if you highlighted only non-executed command or incomplete command and you run, the selected part is only going to be executed. That's why it shows unknown command or error report. Okay, so that's why when you want to run, you have to select the complete command. Okay, you can see here name, comma, last name, comma, first name, last name, comma, first name, and so on. Okay, so this is the two columns here are used to concatenate. There are many functions actually to concatenate, and I'm not sure whether it's supported here to use the plus. So if we use plus here, if we use a plus in many versions, it works to concatenate, but here it doesn't work. Okay, so for concatenation we have to use the double colon. Okay, is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, is represented by two vertical bars. Create a resultant column that is character expression. So as you can see here, the name is as you mentioned here in the alias name. Okay, if a null value with a character string, the result is a character string. So if let's say you concatenate this string with a null value, it will give you the first string only. Or also if you concatenate, for example, if you concatenate this, let's take this and we write null here. If you concatenate null with last name, is also going to show you last name. Okay, so no matter the null value actually is not going to be considered. Okay, is that clear? Okay. Using literal character string. Literal character string. Literal is character, a number or a date that is included in the selected statement. It's not a column name or a column alias. That's why they call it literal. Okay, so we can put a value inside the list of our columns in the select statement, and that value is not related to any column or to any structure in our table. Okay, so data and character literal values must be enclosed within single quotation marks. Number literals need not be enclosed in a similar manner. Okay, so if the literal is if the literal field is string, then we have to put it in between single quotations. Otherwise, if number, we can keep it without quotation. Each character string is output once for each row return. Okay, I don't want to, I don't like to read too much from our slides. So if let's say we want to display this last name, first name, then another concatenate here as full name, then here we want to mention for example whatever I want to show whatever value, for example x, y, z, anything I want to show here. So if this one is a string, then I have to put it in single quotation like that. Okay, so like this, if we run, we can see a new column shows the same value for all records here with the name of xyz, with the name of the same literal field. If we want to show different thing here, if let's say this one we want to name it anything like that. Okay, so this one could be renamed, so anything here xyz, xyz, xyz. Okay, so this is what they call it, literal field, okay, or literal value. Where is it? Here, literal character string. Okay, if let's say we want to use numbers like this, maybe we want to put 2, 5 for example as anything. Oops, like that. So this column will show 25 as a number under the name of the column anything. Okay, so this one here actually could be used to display, for example, now I forgot the function, maybe date, I think now. Okay, let us try. System date, I forgot how to retrieve. Okay, anyway, I'm going to retrieve today's date in Oracle. Okay, you can find the select feature, this one from below. Okay, this one is very useful. So okay, this one could be used here, select. Okay, so in this case it will show us the what they call it, today's date and time. Okay, so what if we want to use this inside another select? So here we can use what they call it, sub query. So the sub query could be used like that from dual. So this is the command. I want to select it in multiple rows so you can understand here. Okay, so here instead of anything, here we can mention that this one is today, or maybe date and time, like this. So 2 days, date and time. So we have to mention this like that. And this here we are. So this is going to be handled as, this one is going to be handled as a literal character. Okay, so here this one is also considered a subquery. So if we run this command together, it can show us full name, then today's date and time, as you can see here. Okay, is that clear, guys? So for the literal string, we can use whatever. Maybe we use function, or we retrieve a value from the system, or date or time or whatever. Or maybe sometimes we require to show something, like, for example, if let's say we have salary, for example, if let's say we have salary, and then that salary we wanted for some reason to multiply it by 12, and we want to show that salary in one column and the 12 in another column, then the result of multiplying them in another column. So in this case, we can use this literal string as that, like this. So maybe here we put for example 1,000 as salary, then 12 as months, for example, then annual salary, which is here 1,000 times 12 as so in this case, if we run this together, it will show us 3 different columns. Okay, 1,000 times 12, it will be 12,000. Okay, so whatever we want to do is possible. Okay, guys. Yes.
But if we do all these functions, right, it will not be saved in the database, right? It will just display, right?
Yeah, this one is all inside the select. Okay, let us take one scenario. Now our faculty member doesn't have salary field, right? Let us insert or add the salary field into our faculty members table. So what is the command here? What command we have to use to modify the table?
Insert.
Insert what?
You say you want to insert salary.
We want to add the salary column. Salary column is a structure. So when we deal with structure, we don't deal with insert. Insert is only for data. So here, when we want to change the structure, we have to use one of the 3 commands that we have taken last class. So here, just go back here, just update your things. So we have create, drop, alter. Create is to create things, drop is to delete things, alter is to modify. Okay, so in our case here, we want to modify the table, right? Alter table, then we mention the table name, faculty members, like that. And after that, when we open for alteration, when we open table for alteration, we have 2 types of alteration, right? So the first type here, let us go to this DDL. Where is the create table, then alter? I just want to do some kind of recap for you. So alteration of the table is 2 cases or 3 cases in total. The first case is to insert a new column for existing table, which is alter table with add, or alter table to modify, to rename maybe column, or to change the data type, or to add some constraints for the column, for existing column. Or the third case is to alter the table by deleting 1 or more columns. So in this case, for adding a new column, we use alter table with add. For modifying existing column, we use alter table with modify. For deleting a column from existing table, we use alter table with drop. Alter table with drop. Okay, so let us see this scenario. Okay, here for our table faculty members, we don't have salary field. We want to add the salary field. So here, alter table faculty members, add, then here add column. Okay, then after that we open like that, we say salary, and we mention number. Okay, is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, what's wrong with it? There's something wrong. I also sometimes forget. Okay, so here, what is this? Alter, add this. Oh, there is no column. Sorry. There is no column keyword. Yeah, like this. Okay, so we insert. Okay, table faculty members alter. Okay, if we go here, we refresh, we would see the salary field here. Okay, what if we select star from faculty members? Here, select star from faculty members. Okay, so here what we can see all data. Salary is null. So if let's say we want to update our table with salaries, so maybe we want to give salary equal to 1,000 for all. So in that case, we can write update table, update, what they call it, faculty members, set salary. Here we have to open braces, so salary equal to 1,000, for example. So in this case, the all records will get the same. What's wrong here? Oops. Like that. Oh, no need to put braces. Okay, update. So in this case, if we run like that, 3 rows have been updated. So we can see that all rows have the same salary. But if let's say we want to update the salary for the second person only, where the ID is equal to 2, we put salary, for example, 1,500. So in this case, like this, it will be updated for Ali only. Yeah. So the second person is 1,500, sorry, and here the third person we make it 3,500, for example, unfair salary. Okay, so here we run, we see 3 values of salaries. Okay, so why we use this? Because we want to show when, for example, we could use what they call it, literal string. So if let's say we want to show the ID, last name, and after that salary, then for example annual salary as salary times 12 as here annual salary. So in this case, the thing is going to show like that. Okay, this one is what they call it, literal. What if you want to show that this salary is multiplied by 12? So maybe in this case also you may need to insert 12 as months, for example. Okay, so in this case is going to show like that. So everybody could understand that 1,000 times 12 is 12,000, 1,500 times 12 is like that. So you can format, you can change the display of your data as you want. Okay, so in this case here, this one is considered literal. Okay, this one is considered condition, not condition, what they call it, formula. Okay, or what they call it, not condition, what they call it, operation. Yeah, this one is operation or formula, this one is literal string. Okay, is that clear?
Clear.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, to do some update. What if we want to update our table, to alter our table, to modify the salary? We want to modify the salary. So here in this case, we need to run the alter table faculty members. Then here we have to use modify salary number. Then after that, if let's say we want to write a constraint. So if let's say we want to write a constraint or to update with constraint, then we have to see how the structure looks like. I totally forgot even myself. Okay, let me see. Then for example number, and here constraint. Is it constraint? Yeah, constraint. $999, for example. Then we close like that. I totally forget. Sorry guys, huh? I need sometimes to also to refresh my memory, because now at this age we have a lot of memory leaks. Okay, alter table, modify column, and this is also an opportunity for you to see what we can do in case we forget everything. Oracle. So if you go to blank at any time, you can go and search the things in Google. Then you can find a lot of tutorials, a lot of structures displayed, and so on. Okay, we have to find constraint. So this one, this. Not null. You see, this is the constraint, not null. Or I don't know what to. If let's say we want to guarantee that the column type is the value is greater than something. Okay, let us go here and check how to edit it here. Okay, constraint here. If let's say we want to insert a new constraint, new check constraint like that. Then for here, what we have to do, we can say salary greater than works. What happened? DML. This is supposed to show us how to create a constraint. Here is the salary salary is here. Constraint faculty, constraint update, stars. Anyway, yes, this one. Alter table, add constraint. Okay, so this one is another way actually. Okay, so we cannot insert the constraint here. We cannot. So we can use this alter table and modify existing column. So maybe instead of number, we can change it to varchar or to any type using this command modify that could be easily changed. So here we can say varchar like this and 50, for example. Okay, so this one varchar 50. Okay, this one is also could work, but because here the data that we have inside our table is numbers, and the one that we want to change is varchar, and this one is going to cause some problems. Remove the constraint or don't perform the offending operation. Because we already inserted the constraint here. We already inserted this constraint. So we mentioned that the salary column should be greater than 999. Okay, so if we delete this like that, okay, then we run this command, then it will be modified. Okay, column to be modified must be empty to change data type. Okay, this is another constraint. So if you want to change the type, the column type, the column values should be empty. So in this case, you have to go here, you have to update your faculty members salary. You put it equal to null. So first you update your table to have null values. So here we can display all salary is null, and the annual salary is also null because it's multiplied null by 12. In this case, we can go here and modify our column type. So it was salary number, now it's salary varchar. So if we want to check this, we describe, and we see here the salary is varchar. Okay, if we want to return it back to number, we can do like this. Okay, suppose that we want to alter the table to change the column type and also to insert another constraint. Okay, so the command could be like this, could modify multiple columns, data types or names, or maybe add constraints into the table or whatever. Okay, so if we run this command is going to modify the type of the salary and also to insert the constraint again to the table. So here, if we go back here, we edit, we could find the constraint inserted again. Okay, this one after we delete it, right? And also the data type of the column is already changed back to number. Okay, so this is how we can alter any table. Okay, this one actually is up to you. The name here is up to you. You can use whatever name for your constraint. Maybe some people they like to say salary, for example, salary minimum or minimum salary or whatever. But also here, if you want to say minimum salary, and here you have to mention the table, faculty members. Otherwise, the constraint is not going to be understood for what table, because later all constraints are going to be saved inside your database here under one of these folders. Okay, so you cannot differentiate between them if the names are not descriptive. Okay, guys?
Okay,
Is that clear?
Yes, Doctor.
Now, fortunately, we could get into a real scenario, which is a little bit complicated. Okay, so it's an opportunity for you to see how we can make things. Okay, after this, now literal character is very easy. I think you all understand this. Okay, I suppose that it's clear. So using literal character strings could be like that, maybe last name, concatenation, comma, maybe colon with S, then 1 month salary equal to blah, blah, blah. So here the result, it could be something like that. Okay, so you can manipulate your data in whatever you like. Okay, is that clear?
yeah.
Okay. Here, using literal character strings, select last name concatenated with, you see here, how many, single quotation here? 3. Why 3? Because we want to insert this single quotation. So single quotation is considered a special character. That's why we have, in order to be able to insert it, we have to put it in between single quotation. Okay, so this is to show only that one. So, or you can use quote Q like this, as this one, to give you the same thing. So this one is going to show you the same result here. Okay, it's up to you, whatever you want. Okay, and here duplicate rows. So if let's say you retrieve, this one is actually already explained. If you retrieve the department ID and you see that the department ID is used by multiple members and you want to show unique department numbers, then easily you can go and use this thing. I already explained this before. Okay, is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, displaying the table structure. If you want to display the table structure, you easily go and use the describe command. Just write describe and the table name, then you will see the result. So describe could be written completely and should be could be also shortened like this. Okay, so if you write this, also is going to run. Okay, as you can see here, we used to describe. So if you want to use it like that, is also going to run the same way. Okay, quiz here. Identify the select statement that execute successfully. Okay, which one from here, which one could successfully run? Don't try, eh? Just try to find the syntax by yourself. Which one is going to run correctly? Just think about it. Anyone can answer?
3.
3. Why 3?
Because it follow the syntax.
Okay, let us check the syntax. Select, then followed by first name, which is a column. Last name is also column. Between them is comma. And also after last name, there is comma. Then job ID, comma is okay. Then after that, we have expression. Expression here is salary times 12. This one is correct. As double quotation, yearly salary. So here we use alias name and we use double quotation from employees. So this one is going to work. Okay. What's about the others? What's about number 2? Select first name, comma, last name, comma, job ID, comma, salary times 12. then without as. Is it a problem?
Yes, it's a problem.
Yes.
No, it's not a problem. I told you as is not mandatory. You can use it, you can remove it. It's up to you. Guys, it seems that you were sleeping while I was explaining this part. Are you really sleeping at that time? So if I remove this, okay, I run this again. Okay, this one is working, right? If I remove this as, it's going to work. It's no problem. Also this one, if I remove, it's going to work. There is no problem. Okay, so as is optional. It's up to you. If you want to use it like this, okay, working, like that is working. The important thing is the structure. The structure must be correct. So number 2 and number 3 are correct. Could run. Okay, what's about number 1? Select first name, comma, last name, comma, job ID, comma, salary times 12 as yearly salary. Here, because
Oh, double
this,
quotation.
this Ilyas name has a space. So if this one is like this, it's going to work. If there is no space here, it's also working. But because this one has a space, it's supposed to be between two quotation, right? Two double quotation. Okay, what's about the last one? Last one here, select first name, concatenation, last name, then as name. Concatenated. Wow, this one is very complicated. This one, first name, concatenate last name, then name. So this one is going to work as Elias name for this. So after this, we have to use comma. You see? This one is wrong. Then if we use comma here, this one is going to work. Sorry, Control Z. This part is going to work correctly, but the other part here is going to start with concatenation. This is going to work also because this will consider that we concatenate with nothing. Then this one caught, this one I think wrong. So if we go back to the slide, because I rarely use this, I forget even its syntax. So Q quotation, single quotation, then square bracket, then single quotation, and after that we have square bracket to close with single quotation. So this one is totally wrong because this one uses curly while that one is supposed to be square, right? So this one is the mistake. Okay, this one is not going to work. And number 1 also not going to work because it has a space. So 2 and 3 are correct. Okay? Okay, guys, clear?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's all for today. And inshallah for tomorrow, we are going to start from here. So we stopped here. Okay. Tomorrow, inshallah, we are going to learn about the how to limit the rows using the selection, and also later we are going to learn the what they call it, the joining and everything. So tomorrow, inshallah, all will be about the selection and the projection. And if we have time, inshallah, we will learn the joining, and everything, inshallah, will be fine. Okay, is there any question before we close today's class, inshallah? Any question? Any question, guys?
No, not at all.
Oh, everybody wants to sleep, right? Or you are hungry now. Maybe you want to eat something. 3 hours.
Yes, I'm hungry.
Okay. Okay, don't forget to pray Zohar and Asr if you don't pray Zohar also. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
See you inshallah tomorrow.